My friends, welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report. I, as always, am Dr. Love. We also, of course, will have my brother from another mother, Sauce Bronson, and special guest, the ugly Dudley Avery.
Yes.
What's going on, my friend? So, but hey, we had a pretty fun-filled wrestling weekend, and this is just the first weekend of wrestling. So we have a lot to kind of talk about. But I'll tell you right now,
this is gonna be a long podcast, y'all.
It's gonna be a little long, but we're still gonna have good talk with you guys, have a little fun here and there. But as we all know, AEW had their last big show of the year and Full Gear. And not gonna lie, it had 400 matches on it, typical AEW pay-per-view. But it actually stopped on time, which I was very shocked about. Not gonna lie, basically on time. And it was a pretty good show. I know we had Avery and Sauce join me in watching the show. And it was a good show. And I think we're going to just kind of go right into it, kind of go over what we thought of the matches. And we're going to start with the opener, which was a huge surprise to me. Huge surprise how good it was. And that was with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And, just right off the bat, before I even give any of my thoughts, I'm going to throw it to Avery because I want to hear. There you go. Just throwing it to him. Just give me the thoughts, man. Like what you thought about it.
Well, first, I didn't even think Jungle Boy was really going to win it. I thought Luchasaurus had it, just the way that Christian's been cutting these promos with the guy. You know what I mean, man? I wanted to see the big push from him eventually, but I mean, it made sense that they gave him the W just for all the crap that Christian gave the family and the whole heel stuff that he's been going on lately. Hopefully, we get a little bit more from Jungle Boy. Maybe like the Atlantic Championship run, or hopefully maybe like a TNT title run. Gotta get some gold around that kid.
I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see something like that. I mean, honestly, just when this match started, they said it was a steel cage match, and I was like, okay, cage match. And literally, one of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling, Sauce knows this, is that you have a cage match, you're allowed to just walk out the door to win the match. So when they announced like how the stipulations went, they said you have to win by pinfall or submission in the cage. And I'm like, well, they must have just forgot to say they could climb out of the cage.
Right.
No. Apparently you can't escape the cage and just, 2 feet on the floor to win. So it was very confusing to me because I've never seen a cage match with that format before.
Well, always kind of makes you wonder, like, what was the point of having a cage if going out the cage didn't even count?
Because you had to have those spots there, the spots getting, stuck in the ring apron in there, going off the top of the cage. I mean, it's still odd to me, but
I mean, at this point, they should have just made a little mini Hell in the Cell match and then
put a top over it.
Yep. Yeah. Because it was just crazy. And Luchasaurus obviously throwing him around, big guy doing stuff, but Jungle Boy coming back at him. And then you had Jericho. I apologize. You had Christian doing his little stuff. And it was interesting because when the door gets open and then Luchasaurus and them are fighting outside the cage, if I'm a wrestling fan there, I'm probably very confused. Like,
it's supposed to be a win.
What's going on? And then of course weapons come in, chairs, and then the table gets brought in, and there were some good spots that happened that I thought, oh man, that's going to be a win. But then I look and the table's not broke yet, so I'm like, so this match isn't over yet because the table is just sitting there waiting to be used. And there were some really cool spots there, and like, well, of course, right off the bat, Jungle Boy, bust open, crimson mask and everything. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, right away, like 2 minutes into the match, 4 minutes into the match, he's already bleeding. So we'll see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I was entertained, but I didn't expect it to be that entertaining. I thought it was going to be more, like you said, I thought it was going to be kind of like, here's the, it's going to kind of happen and then be over with and then be out. But, there were some good moves here and there that Jungle Boy put on him. And, I was pleasantly surprised. As an opener, I was pretty surprised. What did you think, Sauce?
Yeah, I mean, most of y'all pretty much hit the nail on the head. For the most part, I thought it was going to be like maybe a 6-minute squash match. As far as Luchasaurus, slapping that poor little boy around, beating up little Elroy Jetson in there. But overall, I mean, for the most part, like I was really shocked. Like it started off as I thought it was gonna start off as like a 1 star, start off as a dud. But them guys came in, they set the tone. But they actually put on a pretty solid match, and then I mean, my man with the Macho Man elbow off the top rope.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Hey.
Ooh, yeah.
But I thought Jungle Boy almost hurt himself.
Well, yeah, because when he does that, he barely has enough weight to slam him through the table, and it's like, all right.
And then of course he did. He did the best spot of the night because I'm biased.
Oh,
the chair to the Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. That was one of a couple Canadian Destroyers at this pay-per-view as well. But yeah, that was very impressive. Whenever you see a small person guy against a considerably taller opponent, it's always impressive to see it. So.
Oh, and can we talk about Christian's men's warehouse drip he had on?
Yeah, it was something else. And I just love that, like he just snuck up, took the key. He's like, what's going on here? The ref is trying to like get him. He's just like, go away.
Yeah, where'd it go?
Go away. I didn't do anything. Yeah. So I mean, now, do you guys think that this feud is going to be over now? Do you think or do you think they're continuing it?
No. Now that you mention it, they're gonna drag this out for another month or so. Then have like the definitive because. Now Christian can't let it go that little JB won, so now they got to he's got to come up with some devious play. He's got to taunt him for another few more weeks, and then we go into whatever the next AEW small little week little event is, and then they'll probably finally settle it there.
Yeah, I believe because they have the Winter is Coming show.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah. So we'll see, but yeah, I can see that for just a little bit longer because. I feel like at this point it's already kind of an ending. It's kind of like puttering out. But that match again was very impressive. Especially he wins with the submission too, right clean. Into the finisher and a clean submission. Yeah. So I had a feeling that Jungle Boy would win. I just didn't think he was going to win with a submission finisher. I thought for sure, as pretty much everyone thought, he's going to get out of the cage and win that way.
Yep.
So hey, it's all good. So.
I also liked how he was jungling up.
Oh,
hey.
Like hulking up
there.
Jungle up, guys. Jungle up.
So I guess before we give our ratings or our last thoughts, we got a comment from Papa Mafia. Can't believe anyone would bet against Jericho. Come on, man.
Yeah, I agree with that, man.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, when we go over it, we'll talk about that for sure. The Ocho.
But overall, this match to me, as far as my rating, it was gonna start off as a one elbow, but you know what? Then it went to 2.5 elbows. You know what? I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 elbows because like that match. It's kind of like what was it? With Swerve and Our Glory versus Acclaim, where it kind of started off on end, then all of a sudden it turned to a better match than we thought it was.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna show, like I said, I'm showing these guys some love. Definitely 3 out of 5 elbows for me.
All right,
nice. I agree.
What do you? You agree with that?
Oh
Avery?
yeah, I agree. I'll give it a 3, most definitely, man.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with 2. Excuse me, and 2.5 for me on this one. So
right.
That's fair. That's what I think I would go with because it was entertaining. I was just a little caught off guard about the whole not using cage rule matches in a cage match, but because if you think about it, just except for the spot, obviously going out to get the table and stuff. Right. I mean, you didn't even need to do that spot, right? In my opinion, you could have still done the whole match without that spot, without the. I mean, yes. The concerto thing with the Canadian Destroyer was pretty sweet. But I feel like the whole match could have been done without the weapons in it, without getting on the cage. So, but alas, still a good opener for the show. Still a pretty good opener. Yeah, that's pretty good. But, since Papa Mafia, let's bring it up, the Ocho, I figured the next match we can cover, Fatal 4-Way for the Ring of Honor Championship.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go. So obviously the match was, reigning champion Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson, Sammy Guevara, and Claudio Castagnoli. And this was a good match. I had said that I was very hyped for this match, and it did deliver. It was pretty entertaining all around. I mean, whether or not you had the whole thing with Sammy Guevara, kind of like turning on Jericho to get his chance for the title. And there was even a couple times there we thought like he's going to win this title and they're going to lose it, but yeah, I honestly, I love Jericho. Jericho's great.
Of course.
But I think Bryan Danielson should have won the match. I think he deserved the win, it just to me made more sense for that. But it's kind of like when Jericho was the first AEW champion. Some people didn't like it, but guess what? It's a new company. You want to put a top star from all of pro wrestling as your champion. Like it was a no-brainer.
Of course, big draw. Yeah.
But no, this match was good. We had a drinking game for how many European uppercuts. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can drink almost a full case at that point. I mean,
one of them, one match.
It was nuts. It was a fun match. There's a lot of cool spots there. Because a lot of hard hitting moves with everyone. And kind of on the edge of the seat on most of it. But I mean, so Avery, what did you think? What were your thoughts on that?
I knew Jericho was going to win it just because he's trying to get Ring of Honor over more and more people to come watch Ring of Honor. And with the possible, like the TV deal that they were talking about a little while ago, it just made more sense for me to have him win it. But, who was that? I believe it was your brother that was saying that Sammy Guevara might win it. Slowly throughout the match, I was just like, man, maybe this kid might actually win and turn on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really thought that he had it for a second. But and I also like the fact that the 2 Combat Club members went at it, and then the 2 Jericho Appreciation Society members went at it.
Oh yeah, because you're going for the title. Guess what? You're going to fight. You're going to fight as much as you can. So that makes sense to me. And I was again. I thought it was a pretty entertaining match. You have some great wrestlers in there and some hard-hitting moves. I mean, Sauce, I know you agree, but was there anything that stood out in that match? That was
Listen, first of all, I ordered a cigarette after that match because I mean, the way that cigarette was going, oh my god. But yeah, I definitely need a cigarette after watching that. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say the biggest MVP of that match was definitely Sammy.
Yeah.
Sammy was like the biggest part, because everybody else, you kind of familiar with their repertoire, they go get their spots, they shine in. I did like the early start when they had the heels versus faces going.
Yep.
Basically because it was at that point, team versus team. Then for the most part, yeah, I mean, solid match. Was definitely before we found out about the trios match. This was the match I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
Of the night, and like I said, these guys came in, and with a as far as with the what they call it, with with this style of wrestling, it's so much going on. Everybody's got to be on the same page, and these boys definitely delivered.
Yeah, that's what has to happen in those kind of matches. There were a couple times for some weird miscommunications in the match. I know Jericho and Claudio had some weird kind of miscommunication and a couple of moves, but overall it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Again, like you mentioned with Sammy, Sammy did a great job, especially doing that whole like, oh no, I didn't mean to get you, Jericho, but I want the title, so I'm gonna fight and get it. And crowd popped hard too. Oh, yeah. They were popping hard for him
when they posed and Jericho.
Yep.
Fans what they want, right?
Yes. I think Avery does that little spin move whenever he gets excited on the ground.
I do. Yes, I do.
He does. He does a little pose. But let's see. Oh, we have another chat here. It looks like we got
Yay!
Mr. Chad. We got Mr. Chad Smith. The fatal four-way. The fatal four-way was definitely a great match. Hell yeah, it was. It was our most anticipated match last week when we went over the show, and it was, it was a great match, and I was definitely happy to see it on the show. Now, with the new Final Battle show that they're going to do on December 10th, I'm curious of how they're gonna book that show, honestly, but we shall see in the upcoming weeks right now for it. But as for a rating, Sauce, what would you give that for a rating?
Oh, definitely spoiler alert, y'all. This is definitely my match of the night. So this is 4 out of 5 elbows. I'm sorry. Am I gonna say elbows all day? I'm sorry. I made a headlock. What are we doing?
Hey, here? We're throwing bows. We're throwing bows. We got headlocks.
Definitely 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 headlocks. I mean, at this point, as many headlocks here we have going on, might as well be a Mark Henry match. But
how about we say this for this match only? It's 4 out of 5 European uppercuts.
Hey, let's go with that. Yeah, this definitely was definitely uppercut worthy match right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was fun. It was a fun match, entertaining all around. Yeah, Jericho retained it, but that's even though I wanted Bryan Danielson to win, Jericho, anybody could have won, and I would have been happy because they all did such a good job in the match. European uppercuts, we got swinging, we got lots of swinging, and I knew it was like Sammy Guevara's taking that swing. He's just the smallest guy. It's going to look the best for him to do it, but
what's crazy is what's crazy with the swing. I thought everybody's gonna get a swing, but like I said, it was
we talked about that. Yeah, you know what? I could have seen it. I could have seen like one that someone tries to hit, drops some, grabs him,
grabs the other guy, swings.
Yeah, it would have been cool though. It would have been a really cool spot. But yeah, I definitely have to say I'd give it a 4 as well. 4 European uppercuts out of 5.
Well, like I said, overall, these men came in, these veterans, including Sammy. I mean, Sammy's been, this is his first time around the block. So, I put him in that veteran group. These guys showed up, did the damn thing. Hey, as a wrestling fan, we all won.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure right there. So, so Avery, what would you give that for a rating?
I do a 3.5 uppercuts for it.
Okay.
Because it was just really entertaining for me, man. It made me laugh a little bit. It had me on the edge of my seat. It had me thinking like, what the hell is going to happen next? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll do a 3.5 out of 5 for that one, boys.
Gotcha.
I do like one thing. One thing I will say, I do like how certain groups and cliques, how they have their niche little thing.
Right.
With the Combat Club, when they do the elbows to the neck. And and it was definitely pulling them bad boys out. If it was a European uppercut, it was definitely elbows to the neck.
That was good stuff. Yeah. Which one? Who was it doing it to Bryan Danielson for a second? He was just looking at the camera like, "Are you seriously doing this?" And like got up all slow. I think it might have been Jericho or Sammy, I believe.
Yeah, it was Sammy. Might have been Sammy.
He's like, "I'm gonna beat your ass," But oh gosh, yeah, they have some professionalism there, but still, catch someone the wrong way, they're gonna be getting you in the backstage like Bob Holly whipping someone's ass. So look at someone hooking him the wrong way.
Sammy. Sammy's the type of guy who has no problem getting heat any kind of way.
Of course,
as you already seen. Through backstage.
Yeah. We already know about that.
But that's a conversation for another day.
Yep.
But yeah, Sammy was definitely the MVP of this match. But overall, as a wrestling fan, we was the true winners of this match.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. So, oh man. But so now that we had that really good match on the way, now we obviously are going to go to Sauce's favorite match, his and most anticipated match, showstopper match. I believe he said at one point or another. I believe. I'm not sure. I might be thinking of something else. However, it's got to be the TBS champion, Jade Cargill, versus the self-proclaimed champion, Nyla Rose.
Actually, as much as I was crapping on this match to happen, as much as I really didn't care for this match to happen, this match actually turned out a lot better than I thought. And that's not really saying much because the bar for me was set pretty low.
Yeah.
So, but for the most part, I'm gonna tell you right now, it wasn't even the worst match of the night. These two, shout out to Nyla Rose.
No, you're right. We're gonna get to that later because I know it's the same as mine. So.
Oh yeah, I would say shout out to Nyla Rose because she can wrestle. Let's get that out the way. She can wrestle. She's got a decent. She's got a decent repertoire. There's a reason why she was one of the first few women that the AEW definitely wanted to sign and snatch up.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's absolutely correct. But it always sucks when you have someone who can wrestle against somebody else that's so green in their wrestling ability, but they really push them, and it's. I don't know.
You know what my dream match, just off the top of my head, what a dream match would be? Well, not saying a dream match, but a match I think would be cool. Give me Nyla Rose versus ODB.
ODB.
Yeah,
and you know what? And then throw in Awesome Kong in the mix on that. Whew.
Well,
there you go.
I mean, I feel like with them two, that'll be a match I would love to see. I would like, as far as with Nyla Rose, I think what would help her moveset a bit more, or at least get people get more attention. I think it wouldn't hurt if she starts wrestling more stiff. Not Nia Jax stiff where she's almost hurts everybody every match. But give me give me a Nyla Rose repertoire where she's kind of like a Bam Bam Bigelow moveset, kind of stiff, but at the same time, stiff gets the point across, but at the same time, not out to hurt people.
Right. Do a Vader moonsault off the top or a Vader bomb.
Yeah, because
there you go.
Sweet. I'd like a moonsault.
I mean, because her being a big wrestler, I think she would definitely benefit more from doing big man moves or not, the big man style moves. And I think it would benefit her a bit more from that. And basically, it want her to be a bit more stiffer because that way it would make her more of a threat.
Yeah.
Now, as far as in the ring as a heel.
I can't remember. Do you know off the top of your head what her signature move is? I can't remember either. But I'll tell you right now, if I want to, she needs to have it called the Annihilator.
Hey,
the Annihilator.
Listen, I don't know. Papa Khan will give you free gold out here and snatch it up. But overall, to get back to, get too off track. But my thoughts on the match, like I said, it's not the worst match of the night. But considering, once again, shout outs to Nyla Rose for having to carry, carry let's say Jade for those they went for what 10, 12 minutes,
give or take.
Yeah.
Yep.
For that time, her having to carry this match, and at the end, the end when they start hitting those spots, or whatnot. I will say the Jade though, she did have a nice impressive power bomb, showing off her strength or whatnot. But for the most part, I was glad the match was over. That was my favorite part of the match. And yeah. So on that note, we'll swing it over to the ugly dud up there and see what he got to talk about.
Well, first of all, I just want to say my favorite part of the entire from the beginning of the end was Vicky and Nyla coming out in the lowrider. That was at first I didn't know. I was face first in my phone and I was sitting there scrolling through Facebook and I look at everybody. I'm like, she came out in a freaking lowrider, guys. They're like, yeah, where were you at? You guys missed it. I said, man, I said, dude, that's awesome. I said, I love that. But the Chitara outfit that Jade Cargill wore, that was awesome. I love how she's doing like all this like superhero type things or animated or animate things each big pay-per-view. I really like seeing that when wrestlers do that type of stuff. But I didn't think it was that bad of a match at first. I mean, I was kind of like on the fence of it, just like, oh, another Jade Cargill match, Nyla Rose match. You know what I mean? Kind of thought I was going to get bored, but it surprised me. It was actually a very good athletic contest. Showed off a lot of strength both sides. Yeah.
So how many headlocks would you give that?
Nah, John, nothing really too crazy. I'd say I'll give it a 2 headlocks just because of the low rider.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair. Like my that's pretty much be my same rating. I'll give this match 2 headlocks. Last time I had to rate a Cargill match, it was definitely Shockmaster worthy, but this one was definitely far from it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Just didn't really didn't get me over that much on it.
Yeah. Wasn't trash, but at the same time, but you never need to watch it again.
No. It no. But I'd say a 2. Yeah, a 2 would be suffice from me as well. So when it comes
man, imagine if they do another Tough Enough and they have another Cameron. And she asked Stone Cold asked her what's her favorite match of all time. She says Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose.
I never said that.
Oh God.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
I feel like that's what you would if you were in hell. That would be your punishment. You have to watch and rate those matches, all of her matches. So yes, and do commentary the entire time.
Oh, come on! Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. So, Doc, what's your thoughts? Let's hear your thoughts and rating as far as this match.
I definitely give it a 2 headlock out of 5. It's basically kind of what you guys already talked about. There was Nyla had a little bit, some good offense there because she can put some moves in there, but she just needs someone that's closer in her height and her not necessarily her size because being like you said ODB, and I was mentioning Awesome Kong. Like people that would work, to have some kind of hard hitting match like that, but or someone like a Shayna Baszler type, the fighter. But have Jade Cargill. I mean, the best part, honestly, of this whole thing was the build up, the feud build up, because they had a lot of like social media, presence.
Right.
The fact that Nyla stole the belt, I'm the self-proclaimed champion. Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing all that. That was probably the best part of the whole match, like before the match and in the match. So yeah, that's like I said, a 2 out of 5 would be all I would give it, but it was better than I thought. For sure.
I agree.
Yeah. But kind of moving on a little bit with this gigantic show. We do have the I'm kind of jumping around, not doing it in a particular order, but I have to bring up, Double J, baby. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Sting and Darby Allin, because again they had on a tag team again on another match with and then of course you got the chosen one, Jeff Jarrett, coming out in his full chosen one, like WCW outfit, right. Impact, whatever. And it was like I'm watching friggin' Impact Wrestling or the last year of like WCW, or, and it was interesting to see. The match definitely was more fun than I thought.
Yeah.
Like at one point, like for no reason, did they say this was like a no DQ match? I don't know, because like Sting and Jay Lethal just leave and they're doing stuff
fighting
out in the audience.
Yeah.
And he jumps off the top of that barricade thing. I'm like, Sting.
He's gonna do it for another 10 years, man.
No, gosh, no.
I don't want him to, but he's gonna keep on doing stuff like that, man.
See, here's the difference between Sting and Taker. Like Sting, he's more of a support character, right. So he still does the thing. Sting ain't out here, out here in Saudi Arabia shows, but about to get his neck broken by Goldberg, doing botch spots.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But yeah, it was it was actually a little fun match. Even like Jeff Jarrett doing those perfect like old school like heel tactics and everything, and it was nice seeing that. But then they had you guys have to remind me, the giant Indian Satnam Singh, yeah. So they had him come out, and again, this is what made me think this is like not no DQ, because like all they're doing these spots out there where he had like the coffin drop he was trying to do. Then Singh just grabs Darby like he's a child, because he's the size difference, of course. And I just couldn't help but just laugh, like, and he's picking up the little boy. He's taking him back off. I wish I could see this. He had a shirt on
or something, carrying him up the ramp.
Yeah. But they do all these little spots here and there or whatnot, and I'm saying it's like, who's his tailor, man? Because he looked good, see like his outfit, but I'm like, man, those are some big pants, those big shirts.
I know the feeling of trying to find big pants and long pants for being a tall guy, man. It's pretty tough.
Yep.
It's hard stuff for there.
Yeah. I mean, so the match honestly was, Jeff Jarrett comes back and does this little storyline and everything with Sting, and it's like, okay, I mean, now there's nothing else to this, to me. Like, Jeff Jarrett did not need a win here, at all. It's pretty much almost guaranteed at this point Sting's going to win the majority of his matches now. And so I don't know. I will say, though, the match pretty much went pretty good, except for the ending. The botched ending with Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because it was a hard spot for him to do, because he was jumping off the rope, and Sting was supposed to kind of grab him, get set up, and then do death drop to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of like ran into him, and he kind of fell down as he kind of grabbed him, and you could hear like the
yeah,
we just effed up, guys.
Yeah,
but the good thing, I would say even though it was a botch spot, but because once again, veterans like Sting, even though it's botch spot, Sting was at the right place at the right time when that happened, because
made it look good.
Yeah,
well, he gave an audible
headlock and finish the spot.
Well, that's the thing. He gave him an audible to Darby Allin to do the coffin drop to him right after that, so to get the W.
Yeah.
So, and because he could tell, he's like, that did not go like we thought.
Yeah.
But again, it was only, everything else was pretty, was okay in the match. There was, and again, Sting's always going to be entertaining, and Darby Allin's going to, still for the time being, he's entertaining, but I feel like he's just kind of handicapped now by being with Sting all the time.
Yeah.
Like let him be in a tournament for like the the TNT title again. Like he was, it was a good TNT champion when he was, let him be in a tournament so he doesn't have to be with Sting. Let him, I don't know. I just want to see him do something out of his bubble, out of the Sting bubble, I guess. So we'll have to wait and see, but I know he's still real over and fans like him. So that's a plus, with the whole ballooned roster of AEW. So, but yeah, but I liked it. I mean, it was a fun match. It happened later in the night. It was actually like one of the last matches. It was like, I think it was the third to last match. Yeah. And I'm like, was that Jeff Jarrett's idea or was that Sting's idea? Yeah. He's like, guys, I want to be later on the pay-per-view, okay?
Top of the hour.
I'm going to be top of the hour. I got to be the top of the hour, okay? You got it. It's like, until he got probably like, are you talking to me? Who are you talking to? Jeff Jarrett's talking to a mirror, like what he's gonna say, like
hey, brother.
There we
go.
But like, so I'll let you boys get your thoughts in, then I'll get mine in.
All right, I guess I'll take it over. Okay. First of all, I thought it was I'd actually really have a decent match. The only thing really I didn't like about it was the Sting and the Jay Lethal kind of botch, you know what I'm saying? But them two guys working with each other for the past 15 or something years on and off, you know, having that chemistry, they fixed it and they made it right. Favorite part of the match though is when Sting's in the ring behind Jeff Jarrett. And then Jeff Jarrett's going like, yeah, whatever. Don't worry, I don't need you. And he like slowly creeps around and he does the old classic Jeff Jarrett. Oh no, drops to his knees.
Yeah, that was a really cool because that's like that old school spot, you know, like that whole like no.
Yep. He does it so well too, man.
Yeah. So I was definitely a fan of that. So it was and I don't know, like basically I've already kind of talked about myself how I thought, but as for like a rating, I'd say like a 2.5. Okay. 2.5 headlocks or out of 5.
Yeah, I'm probably right there with you. I'll probably give it a 2.5 as well, man.
Like, that's fair. Like for me, definitely, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 headlocks. I thought it was a pretty solid match, even with the botch spot. But to see once again, Sting, you know, being that veteran, it was just like, you know, his body was an autopilot at that moment when that spot happened. He saved it and whatnot. And then also too, I mean, let's go back to the beginning, like how Jarrett, you know, man, still got it, you know, heat with the crowd, just getting the crowd involved as well.
They don't forget too, the guy's freaking jacked and chiseled still too at the age that he's at, man. Great.
Shout out to the chisel grandpappies out here. They and then you still got Sting out here taking crazy bumps.
I know, right?
Yeah, like you know, at one spot, I'm just so holding my breath, like, oh my god, they're gonna break this mold, man.
One of these days.
But then, you know, like I said, with the botch finish and Darby, you know, with the clean finish afterwards. I feel like if that spot wasn't botched, then I would have went to about 3.5 headlocks. But I'm gonna stay with 3 headlocks. I feel comfortable with that.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? As long as we're entertained, like again, botches like that, in a sense, don't necessarily. I don't immediately like completely say, "Oh, the match was garbage." You know, it depends on the nature of the botch, like you know what they were going for in that move, and whatever happens. And the multiple botches, that's different, obviously, if there's several. But yeah, I'd still say 2.5 out of 5. But I was still entertained by, like I said, with Jeff Jarrett doing the old school heel tactics, Sting still just being Sting. Oh my gosh! And then just the popularity of Darby Allin, still doing what he's doing, man. But.
I never really understood why Darby Allin got so over, man. Honestly, do you think is it because like the skateboarder gimmick or like the face paint maybe, and kind of like an old Jeff Hardy resemblance? Well, that's what I kind of got out of it.
Yeah, that's too. But also think it's kind of you have certain wrestlers who's kind of like the people's champion with the crowd,
right?
And the crowd, for some reason, like the crowd just like to the crowd, they're up here. Yeah. When in reality, they like right here. I think that's what he is. I mean,
I gotcha.
You know, that's like in WWE, you used to have guys like Tajiri. Like, obviously, Tajiri wasn't going to get no further than mid-card.
Yeah.
But when he came out, like, people... like
the crowd loved him. Right.
The crowd loved him. And then, for the longest, I mean, even when Jay Lethal was starting off in Impact, like, I mean, obviously, the dude, you know, mic work is outstanding. But he was a guy that you figure he probably wouldn't win. He wouldn't, win main event gold. But when he came out, people was just like...
Yeah,
this guy's great. So you always gonna have, like, you definitely gonna have those wrestlers where, then like another prime example, before he won gold, big gold, Eric Young was kind of like that where, you know, he was there, but people just love him or whatnot. So
yeah, Eric. Yeah, well, funny story you brought up Eric Young. Eric Young, before he, just a second here, we got a guest today. Hello. We got a little guest today, and we got Yeah, Brutus, he is, the guard dog, of course, but he'll be up here for about 5 seconds before he wants down. But so with Eric Young, though, Eric Young, like when he first started wrestling, he was like the small, skinnier type, spiky hair. Then literally he like got freaking jacked, and then he became like a real fan favorite in Impact Wrestling, and then they gave him the title and everything, and it was crazy. Then they brought him into NXT, which the Insanity Group, if that was during like now Triple H was running it, Insanity would have been so over.
Oh yeah,
in on the main roster. But of course,
well, you see they're kind of redoing it now with. I know we're getting a little off track because we're talking WWE with AEW moment, but they're kind of redoing it now with Schism. In NXT.
Yes, you're right. I literally was thinking the same thing when I keep seeing these things with like Schism and all that stuff. Yeah. So, I think you're absolutely right on that. And it helps too because you have Cameron Grimes, who's the Trevor Lee in Impact, and was against them and doing a lot of work there. So, but Darby Allin though, I like him. I just want to see him get more of a push. I want a singles push. Throw him in some tournaments, throw him in some eliminator matches, anything. I just showcase the wrestling.
Yeah.
I think eventually, like you guys were saying, like eventually he's going to have to get to a point where he's got to detach himself from Sting.
Oh, it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen, but I'm just waiting on when.
I feel like once that happens, like his stock could definitely go up a bit, but like I said, he's the mid card. Basically, the best way to describe it, he's the mid card people's champion. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you too. So, Brutus, what'd you think? Yep. Gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha.
I agree, Brutus.
He agreed with us. Yep. Oh, but I agree though. He's actually been up here longer than I thought. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I seen you kept looking down at him here a little.
Well, because he kind of was looking at me. He was looking at me. I'm like, hey, you went up, and he kind of just started. Like, I have no food. And he walked away. But so, moving on from that match, we have a match that got announced after our podcast last week because we were just talking about like, they're not doing anything with the TNT title. Mm-hmm. Well, the next day, the triple threat match with Wardlow, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Literally, and I'll let Sauce eloquently put it. What was this match?
Big man slapping big sweaty meats.
It really was. I mean, you're talking about absolutely like hard hitting, like big men wrestlers.
Yeah, all of them.
We got exactly what was advertised in the match.
Yep. Sure.
And as in our game that we do play for wrestling, I had picked Samoa Joe only because I thought now that they're doing more Ring of Honor stuff, he's going to be on the Ring of Honor shows as the ROH TV champion. I thought, what would be cool if he was like 2 belts, had both belts.
Joey 2 belts.
Hey.
And and it was kind of cool, but honestly, the belt could have went to anybody. Triple threat rules, obviously anybody could get pinned and win the belt or submit, but it was it was still a good match though. I honestly thought anybody could have won with Powerhouse getting his push and Wardlow as champion though. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know how you guys feel.
It was kind of stale a little bit,
right?
To me, like okay, I like it, the big guy, but that's just couldn't really get like hooked on it. I love Wardlow, of course, but give him the world title, man. That's what I want to see.
I don't know if he's ready for world title yet. Because he had crazy momentum behind him when he split from MJF, and then that steam just kind of
went down, right?
Out. Yeah.
Because
he would have these matches, and then he was like okay on the mic, but it's like the crowd was like into him, but then it's like we do like Goldberg chants for him, Wardlow, It's like, all right, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing if you think of it that way, but even then, some of his matches were just blah. That's the best way I can kind of describe it, And
the way that they should have booked him, because I think it was Kevin Nash who said it. Kevin Nash was like, "This is supposed to be the future. This is your big guy, but you got him working like 15, 20 minutes, struggling with guys on the lower mid card of him. So at this point, it's almost like you killing his momentum. Everybody told Nash, "Shut up, you old man. You don't know what you're talking about." Blah blah. And look where we're at now.
Yep.
Let's say Papa Warlow's got no gold. He went to Papa Joe, and
yep. That's
I think he needs to lose that singlet though. He did just do straight tights, man. I just can't.
Yeah.
I never liked the wrestlers with the singlet except Sauce's boy Kurt Angle, but that's probably the only one, man.
Well, yeah, he's definitely like anybody that's like a wrestling background, like World's Greatest Tag Team, Chad Gable,
right.
You know, those guys, it works for them, you know, and
comfortable.
But you're right. I think anytime I see like Wardlow or even like Powerhouse Hobbs is the same thing. He has like Italian, you know. I don't really like it either. You know, it doesn't really work. It only works. Here's the funny thing: it only works on someone like smaller, like RVD, right?
Yeah.
It works on him, but he's a different type of wrestler. You know, high flyer. You know, and more agile. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Wardlow as a big guy is pretty agile, but you know, he's not like RVD agile. So,
yeah, to piggyback off what you said, like the double singlets, I think they work better off of small guys and fat, and you know, and then the fat wrestlers. You know, like
Bearcat Lee.
Like who?
Bearcat Lee.
Oh Lord.
Well, I would say like Otis. You know, when it was heavy machinery. You know, it worked great. It worked great with there. What happened to the other guy? I don't even know where he's at now.
Is that Tucker?
Yeah.
Tucker.
They waved him. See ya, man.
Yeah, but yeah, like for some reason, Powerhouse Hobbs, I feel like it works with him better, even though he's got a much bigger physique. But I don't know why. Like, I guess sometimes you also gotta have to look for it. And I think with Powerhouse, for some reason, I don't know why, but I don't know. Him, it looks good. But like Keith Lee, it looked terrible. Warlow, it looks stupid. So you gotta have a certain physique, I would say. Because it's almost like
do.
Yeah, it'll almost be like Jake Hager, actually, I tell you that Jake Hager because of his gimmick, it worked with him.
Yeah,
and him and Warlow, their body physique ain't too far apart. So
Wardlow's guy is more shoulders. He's bigger,
more broad
shoulders and broad. As opposed to being more slim down.
He's a broad boy. I got
lean
you.
like a Hager. Yeah, I got you.
Broad boy, I like it.
He's a broad boy.
That's cool. I like it. But there were some good hard hits in this match. You know, some good some power bombs there. You know, and then just some hard hitting action, which we already kind of figured.
Yeah.
We figured that once we knew that they were actually and this match was happening. But you know, I love the ending though. I loved it because it was just a perfect way to do like a triple threat. You know, it almost felt like you're right out of a video game when you're doing it. You're trying to pin every 5 seconds to try to win because and that's what happened. You know, he takes advantage after the finisher and just coquina clutch done over. You know. Oh yeah, it was good, and like I said before, I believe because they're setting up for the Ring of Honor show and shows by having him also as an AEW champion on Ring of Honor, it's like we want Ring of Honor to be separate, but we want you to know he's AEW champion too on your show. You know, I think that's kind of what they're going for, and we'll have to wait and see. He'll at least have it and defend most likely the TV title at the final battle, I would assume. But we'll have to wait and see, you know, on that. But so Avery, what do you think for rating? What would you give this match?
Well, honestly, I would give it a 3.5 headlocks, but I would do 4. But just because I was thinking Samoa Joe was going to win it, I did not guess him in our game that we play. So that's the only reason I'm going 3.5 headlocks.
All right, I got you.
But in all, it was definitely a great match. Lived up to the hype.
Oh yeah.
Most definitely did. Hopefully, we see like a Hobbs and Wardlow little thing going on now. I think that's what they're going to do moving forward. Joe, keep cutting these great promos he's doing. Just keep beating people up.
Yep, I'd be fine with that.
Yes,
I would
sir.
be fine with that. Oh, hey, that's the cord.
So just a heads up, as we do every week, I watch NXT with captions muted. And they just announced Apollo Crews versus Braun Breaker at deadline for the NXT belt. So
wow, okay, wow, what a push though, right? Think about that,
baby. Shoot, not even him, just still Braun too. You know, they're getting he's shooting him to the moon. No pun intended with the Cameron Grimes one, but yeah, man, Braun Breaker's that man, dude.
Oh yeah, but as far as the match goes, my rating, I'm giving it I'll give it a 2.5 headlocks. I give it two headlocks and a Ric Flair chop. Like it's a pretty solid match for the most part. Joe being the old school veteran at this point, carrying the match. Making almost made it seem like you make sure that people's in their spots and do what they're supposed to do. And then there was moments too where we kind of almost forgot about Hobbs because it was just so much of Joe and Warlow.
Yeah, and that's kind of the nature of like a triple threat or a fatal 4-way match. Right. Someone gets knocked out, so then they can have that 1-on-1 and or 1-on-1 type match set up.
You kind of forget about the third.
You do usually forget about like at least one or two people, depending on how many's in the match.
And with this triple threat, I kind of would have liked to see more of Hobbs, maybe a bit more of a Hobbs and Warlow going, or more Hobbs and Joe or not, but overall, 2 headlocks, Ric Flair chop. Overall, I mean, it was still a solid match, though. I say Mr. Joe got the job done.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Yeah, so, and then with Warlow, because correct me if I'm wrong, Warlow did not get pinned, correct?
Well, no, it was Coquille clutch.
Yeah, it was a submission.
Well, let's say so. Warlow was the one. So Warlow did basically. So Warlow was the one that was beaten, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, for some reason, in my mind, I thought it was Hobbs that got beat, and then they just took it off Warlow. But okay,
yeah. Which is interesting because if you think about it, in a match where anybody could get pinned or submitted, he did it on him, and Jericho pinned to retain the title. Obviously he's retaining that, but it's still, But I do like the triple threat ideas. I do, as long as it's set up properly, good chemistry with the people. Yeah. So, yeah.
And actually, it's funny you mentioned chemistry because I think that's probably the reason why. Like, I probably would have gave it, in my mind, it was supposed to be like a 3.5, match, 3.5 out of 5 match. But I feel like the chemistry just wasn't quite there with these guys, and I think that's kind of what took my rating down a bit. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, these guys did their thing. Can't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Is that man drinking a pineapple? Shout out to you.
I know. I just saw it. I was like, cool. I saw it earlier. Now, what's in it?
Don't worry about that.
It's
ice water, baby.
How about that?
Ice water. What?
What? Hold on.
Man, guy, that man got his bikini bottom drink. I see you.
Fancy.
Oh, boy. He does not like this little cord right here. He wants to fight it so bad. He went down. All right. So wave bye. Okay, he's going down. Right. All right, there you go, buddy.
That's my boy.
If you want back up, let me know. But yeah. So I'd say to me, I'd give it a 2.5 as well for the match. So 2 headlocks and a Ric Flair chop. So, yep. That's what I would say. But yeah, so moving on. Well, actually, one second. There we go. I'm like, I thought it was going to be a big burp there, so it ended up being a little guy. But
it'd be like that sometimes.
Right. So, okay. Let's just get this out of the way, Sauce. Out of the way, Avery. I'd say arguably this. I know what, not arguably. I can guarantee that this is all of 3 of us the worst match of the night. We have to go over it now so we can get it out of the way, so we can get on to better things. I didn't want this to be bad, but it was.
Nobody did.
Oh, gosh. It was.
So you have Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I'm just mad. I'm like angry as I write it.
Yeah, right.
Versus the former Paige, Saraya. And, me and Sauce already talked extensively a lot about this. Avery, we've talked in our wrestling groups. Look, I loved Paige. I loved when she came in the WWE. I know work she did. I always was entertained by her with all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Then she had a devastating neck injury. I mean, it's very rare for people to come back from neck injury, and yes, there has been exceptions to them. Sure. But her injury was also worse than most people had, and the fact that, she's cleared. I got to send pictures of the certificate the doctor gave me. Like, okay, if you have to go that far, it's kind of bad, right? I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like and at that point I go, you know what? They've already built this feud up a little bit. I'm excited. Britt Baker is a really safe worker. So you put her with someone safe, that's good. Now, let's see if they can put on a pretty good match.
Right.
And it wasn't. It was very sad. We talk about chemistry in matches, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that there was zero chemistry. It was like they were just mixing like explosive components. They still work together, but you're going to have a mess on your hand, and or you have like Coke in the Mentos, right? I'm going to put these in there. Let's see if we have and it blows up. It just an unstable kind of reaction there, and it just showed. Some of the moves they were doing were, you felt like they were in quicksand, right? They were moving almost in slow motion, doing
walking like they're in mud or something. Yeah,
yeah, and it just. At one point, she did like off the top rope, right? She did the sunset flip, like flipping and tried to slam her down, and she like barely even got to it, hit it properly. It was, and then my fiance came out and was watching that, and she wanted to check that out because she knows Paige and everything, and she, who's not a huge wrestling fan, could tell like this was garbage. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say exactly what she said, but she couldn't believe it of how. Because she's seen her stuff back in the day, and she just, I don't know. I don't know if it was just the fact that, with the neck injury, or the fact that, she dated Alberto Del Rio. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating that match.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it wasn't going to be like match of the night. We already knew that. I just wanted to be pretty good, And when Jade Cargill has a match that's better than your match,
yes,
then that's very sad.
Especially with Britt Baker in that match,
Well, you got to remember too. Britt Baker was probably picked because of how she's safe working in the ring. She's safe and good at being the heel, But, so it's not her fault if they could. It's two to tango,
Yeah.
She couldn't do a lot of the stuff she normally could do as a heel. And a loss to her, to Saraya, wasn't going to hurt her like career, right? It wasn't going to hurt it. So take the loss because of, but now they're going to be in this like little weird kind of thing. Like, how are we going to book Saraya now moving forward? Because, I can wrestle, but
manager.
Hey, I agree. But here's the thing. And we'll talk about that match next, but I have a bad feeling she's going to be thrust. They're going to thrust her into the world women's title thing and the women's title thing. I just have this bad feeling that they're really, because of her name, they're going to be doing that. So I hope not. But being a manager would make the most sense. I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place, but. Unfortunately, the match it showed how bad, and there you can have ring rust, absolutely, but it wasn't just that. It was a culmination of just everything that's happened to her and how she's just kind of gotten lazier, wrestling. So then Britt Baker has nothing to do. She can't make it. She can't make her work faster, more upbeat, up to speed,
especially AEW style, which is a little bit more up tempo versus WWE style.
Yeah,
And at one point, you could just see the look on Britt Baker's face, like she like, I know, I got a job to do. I have to, as wrestlers would say, got to do the job. But you just see the look on Britt Baker's face, like she just could not wait to get this over with.
Yeah. She was like, I'm out. I'm outie.
but I mean, the rest I got to say about this match is as far as the match goes, all I gotta say is yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
Yeah. And my rating, and I know your guys' rating will definitely reflect that for sure. So And
Shockmaster. That's my rating. Y'all go ahead.
So unfortunately, I kept going back and forth on this, but you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a half a star, or not a star. No, it's even worse than that. A great Kali chop, like one of his like great chops do. Yep, it's so a half of a star or whatever. There's, and I'm that's only because I was happy to see her back, but I was just not happy with the match, obviously. So yeah, it was very sad. It was very sad, and like I said, hopefully when they book her now, maybe she's not wrestling a lot. Hopefully not barely a lot, but yeah.
I'll say just figure out a way, a storyline, come up with a storyline to like permanently put her on a show, and then she just be a manager for the rest of her AEW career. Once, as much as people talk about WWE and criticize her for certain things, as we all saw, there was a reason why they did not want her back in the ring.
Yep.
They knew something that we clearly didn't know.
Yep.
Until Saturday.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. So, man. So Avery, as for a rating, what would you give this match?
Honestly, just because it was her first match back, Britt Baker being who she is, she's still a great performer. I'll give it just a 1.5, I guess. 1.5 headlocks for them too, But going back to what you guys said about like her possibly being a manager, I was actually thinking since we all know who just won the AEW Women's title, maybe a little collusion with Britt Baker and that lady, and then hey, here comes Saraya, got the former beef with Britt Baker. Let me go help her.
Yeah,
turn the AEW Women's Champion face. You know what I mean? Keep Britt Baker the good heel that she is. It's just a little idea possibly could happen. I would like.
Well, it's funny you said that because that's what we definitely were gonna. I was gonna kind of segue into that match to go to a really bad women's match to a pretty great match that happened, and that was for like you said, the AEW Women's Champion. Yes, the Women's Championship. I refuse to say interim. I refuse.
It's not real.
TK, I refuse.
Not real.
But so you have Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter in the match. And again, Toni Storm has literally defended this belt pretty much every single week, pretty much in every show since winning it, And put that in perspective, when Thunder Rosa was champion after she won the belt, she was not even on TV for like weeks. Wasn't even on Dynamite, Rampage shows for weeks. And it was like, okay. And you think like, well, that's how they book it. It's like, no, it's how. Well, there's a reason why they're not putting her on TV, because it's either her wrestling ability they don't want to see her wrestle, or something's wrong with her. And if there's something wrong with you, then you've dropped the belt. You drop the belt. You don't deserve to be champion if you're injured.
Correct.
So it's frustrating, right? It's just very frustrating. And now it's like, I was split on this match. I did predict from last week on the podcast that Jamie Hayter was going to win. I still was a little surprised that she won, actually, but but it ended up being a good match, like a really good match. So, and Toni Storm had some funny moves here and there that reminded me of some old school Eddie Guerrero stuff she would do, like turn over, smack the ass and whatnot, just to get a thing, or just I don't know. She just did some cool moves here and there that I was a little surprised about, but in a good way, But yeah, the interference from with Britt Baker and stuff, them coming out, and it worked. But I think the only way, if you're going to set up anything with Paige or Saraya now, what you kind of hit the nail on the head to me, Avery.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yep. It really does.
Yeah.
So at this point, maybe just do like a tag team match so she doesn't have to do the whole wrestling by herself.
Get a hot tag in real quick.
Yep, hot tag. You'll do a couple hits here and there, and then maybe give her the finish or something, maybe. But then she doesn't have to wrestle the entire match.
Right.
That's. But going back to this actual match though, what were your thoughts though, Avery? I mean, because again, it was a pretty good match.
Dude, it was phenomenal, man. We were all together watching it, and I sat right next to you, Nick. Looked right at you. I said, "Man, this is probably match of the freaking night, man." It was amazing. So many times to where I thought Tony Storm was going to win. That's who I obviously believed was going to win, but where I kept thinking, I was like, man, Tony Storm might not win this dang thing, man. Are they finally going to give Jamie Hayter the push and finally give her the gold? And lo and behold, they freaking gave it to her. And then the interference with Britt Baker, I'm sitting there, I'm like, who the hell is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, freaking Britt Baker. Crowd goes freaking insane.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But for me, match of the night, I'll give it a 4.5 headlocks and then a good Ric Flair chop.
Let's go.
Right. Yeah, there we
go. Man, it was a great match.
Yeah. I'd I'm pretty close for that. I'd say for me, really good match. But I'd give it a 4. 4 headlocks out of 5. Very entertaining match. It shows you how women's wrestling should be done. From a fighting champion. And I hope she does get a rematch and put on a good clinic for another couple rematches here and there. So.
Yeah. I just don't know what they're going to do with Tony Storm now. You know what I mean? Is she just going to go back into mid card for now, try to get like a rematch? Obviously, she deserves it, but I just don't see what's going to happen with her. Or maybe Thunder Rosa comes back. Maybe she comes back and helps her out or something. Because it's been a while since we've seen her. Right,
I know. But a problem with her, unless they end up taking the belt off of her officially. The only storyline I can see is her just coming back and I'm the champion. And now we have our match, interim versus the champion. It's not UFC. Again, it's not UFC. I don't want to see this.
I hope Hayter beat the brakes off of her.
Oh, man.
Right? Could you imagine that? She wants the match and then she just demolishes her.
Squashes her.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see something like that happening. But we have to wait and see what they end up doing for that. And should be interesting. It should be.
Well, here's what I would say about the interim style. I feel like if the person cannot compete, if they can't compete, if they're out longer than 2 months, then you got to strip them of the belt.
I agree.
It's not UFC. Obviously with WWE, they used to do the 30 days as long as your name wasn't Brock Lesnar. But I would say with AEW. 60 days, and then you strip to your belt.
Yep, absolutely, man, and that's what they need to do. So I hope we'll see that they end up doing that, but you never know. You really don't.
But as far as the match goes, the match was great. I said last week, this could be definitely the show stealer.
Yeah.
And I definitely give it. I'm definitely giving it 4 out of 5 headlocks. It was, I will say this: if the ROH championship would have never happened, if the trio championship would have never happened, this definitely would have been match of the night for me.
Yeah. Yep. I hear you on that. And that being said, we'll segue into the trios championship match.
Let's go.
The returning Elite versus yep, there we go.
Hey,
go
ahead.
No, it's all good. Versus the Death Triangle of Penta El Zero and Pac and Rey Fenix. And man, the Elite coming back. They came out to carry on a Wayward Son. It was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty awesome seeing them come in. Young Bucks all in white. And you knew they were going to get a big pop. I mean, I'm happy to see them back too. No drama, just get in the ring and have some good wrestling. And they delivered. They delivered on a match that was really good, unpredictable to say the least, and some fun spots here and there. Include when they were doing the whole thing with the weapon with Pac's hammer. I completely forgot about that, by the way, because they're like, "Here's the hammer." Like, what? Why has he got a hammer? I forgot that was a thing that he was doing or whatever with the hammer. And but it was good. Another drinking game. How many super kicks? Drink again. You'll be very, very drunk if you're watching an Elite match with the Young Bucks. But yeah, it was very entertaining. It was again, over the top as they usually are, and just had a lot of fun with it. It was a good seeing them back. With Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and they did some good moves in there, some good crazy moves out of nowhere and whatnot, and just, I mean, what were your thoughts though, Avery?
I kind of agree with most of the things you just said on that one. It was actually a really phenomenal match. Of course, probably my favorite part was just the entrance song, because I felt that the reason why they did it is because, this is a popular song, people know this, and then I feel like they kind of trolled CM Punk. Like, okay, you want them to sing your song? Watch this. I bet you they'll sing our song, And then the crowd, the things that they're chanting, you know what I mean? Not gonna say it on here, but yeah, man, most definitely, it was a freaking phenomenal match.
They were chanting for Phil, weren't they?
Sure were, yeah. But like you said about the ice pick, man, I'm so happy that he finally did that, because Phoenix is like, oh man, I don't need this thing, I can win without it, Just Pac being the guy that he is, man. He was like, dude, do that thing, man. Hit this guy with this, end this match. Let's go to backstage, and then now we get to hopefully see 6 more matches, and a best of 7.
Yeah, right.
6 elite more matches.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so they announced after, and the match ends with, Death Triangle retaining the titles, which again was a little bit of a surprise until they announced this best of 7 tournament.
Kind of feel like that's what they were going to do anyway.
Right. It's
they
like,
want them to feud for a while.
You want elite? You want elite? You get them all now. You get it all the time now. And what's so crazy is they're like, oh, it's best of 7. So best of 7 means you have to win 4 of 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to be a clean sweep. It's not going to be a clean sweep or anything like that. So it's going to be, they're going to go to 7. And it's like in January too, by the way. If you looked at the schedule, the matches, the last one's not until January.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez,
so
man.
I know, right? So you're gonna have all these matches all the way up until January. That's like, oh Lord.
I think Death Triangle. I believe I did say this at the house or the party. I think they're gonna go up 3-0, and then the Elite are gonna win 4 straight. And win in 7.
Oh man, there you go.
And then Adam Cole comes back and destroys them all.
Yeah, hey, I don't think Adam Cole's coming back for.
I know,
man, but it's wishful thinking, right?
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
I do like how when you head honchos of your company, you get suspended. You go from being suspended to jumping right into a tag title match.
Yep, EVP baby.
EVP. Yeah. I wonder how they did that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I would definitely say there was a hell of a match.
Yeah. Oh,
The fact that the Bastard Pac and the boys came out on top, that was enough for me right there.
Oh yeah, very entertaining match. I was pleasantly surprised with it. So
hopefully, sometime. Oh my bad.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You go ahead. It's fine.
Oh yeah, hopefully sometime down the road we get another Pac versus Omega match somewhere down the line, maybe in February when this is all over.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you said that. So, yeah, with Omega, they're setting all these matches up, right? But he's also got another high-profile match just at New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom, where he's facing off against Will Ospreay for the U.S. Championship. Yes. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get my subscription back to New Japan World for this show, and probably just for this match alone.
Are we going to try to do this live?
Well, funny story to say that. So if we did it live, it literally doesn't start until like 2 a.m. It goes like 4 hours because of the time difference.
Hey.
And a funny story too. I'll just before we kind of move on, is a few years ago when they had it was Omega versus Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
And it basically the first of their many 5-star plus matches. And my me and my brother were like, he's like, hey, they just came out with this New Japan World. We're gonna watch these shows, and now we have Wrestle Kingdom coming up. Like, cool, all right. And it was unfortunately during the week I was working, but the show didn't start till like 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's like, okay, I gotta work at like 7:30 or whatever. And we're watching the show, and the show's going. It was actually funny because that show was the first one that had Cody Rhodes wrestled on that. He wrestled. He wrestled Juice Robinson. Yep,
he sure did.
He did. So Well, anyways, besides that, so the match gets to the main event, and of course, it was just phenomenal. It was ridiculous, such a good match. But I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, right, getting so close to like when I absolutely had to leave, and I'm like ready to go out the door, like, let's go, you know. And the match went about an hour. I think it was almost an hour, and you know, Okada won the match, retained the title, but it was ridiculous all around. They had their rematches and such and whatnot, but I just remember that first one was just so good. So, and I know him versus Ospreay is going to be, they're going to tear the house down. They're going to tear it down. So Omega's got a lot of work going on right now. He's doing all this stuff now, but he's got that show he's got to be getting ready for. You know, I'll tell you right now, remember how I said that this best of 7 goes into January? Well, Wrestle Kingdom is January 4th. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't want to be stressing for these other matches right before this big match with Ospreay.
Especially coming off an injury too, you know?
Yeah, and that's what surprises me about wanting to do all these matches like that, but right in a row, I mean.
Yeah, right, I hear you.
But yeah, I mean, it's still going to be entertaining. And then this match, again, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. And as for like a headlock count, I would definitely... yeah, I'd give it a I'd give it a 4. I'd give it a 4.
Give it a 4 as well.
Yes, you know. So yeah, I'd absolutely say so on that. But yeah, moving on, we do have another tag team title match to talk about. And as we kind of talked about last week, me and Sauce, we pretty much said that this was going to be the end of this feud, and I believe that's correct after this. But you have the Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory, and for the tag team titles. And you know, obviously from the hot first match they had to their still really good second match, this this delivered. This match definitely delivered with everything going on with it. Everything with it. You know, Billy Gunn returned back. That was cool to see him somehow regrew his fingers that got chopped off. Apparently, I know, but all this stuff. But there were some good spots in this match. You know, back and forth. But really, just the big highlight was the fact with Keith Lee and Swerve. You know, and the big swerve was that he turned on him. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It was he let him have it, and then just walked out of the ring. It wasn't like, you know, he did that and then they immediately lost. You know, he did that and then just walked out and just left him by himself to try to win, you know. And I'll tell you something, if this team wasn't breaking up, or if it was not like the third match in this feud, that could almost work, and then Swerve still get the win somehow, because you know what I'm saying. And then you have like the team that don't like each other, you know, but we're tag champions, but we don't like each other type thing,
right?
Because that works. It can work sometimes. Like most recently, the Bar, you know, with Sheamus and Cesaro, when they first were like together, like they didn't like each other. You know, they just had a big, like, best of 7 tournament, you know, match showdown. And then they're like, we're a tag team. We don't like each other. But now we're tag team champions. It's like, okay, we kind of like each other now. You know, we're still fighting, but we kind of like each other. And yeah, I think it would work, though. I think it would totally be entertaining at that point. But the Acclaimed, man, they put on a good show. They just put on a good show every time. And they're just so over. It's insane how over they are with the crowd and the merchandise and everything selling. It really has blown my mind, honestly. I've always liked their raps and everything, but they did such a good job. And I was definitely a fan. About that. But what were your thoughts, though, Sauce, on that?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed, like, pretty solid. I mean, it was a solid match. You know, it was a lot of story. It was like, you know, a whole bunch of storylines going into this one match. Obviously, you're not going to, you know, Lightning's definitely not going to strike twice, let alone 3 times. This was basically like, I think this match was like a fitting chapter, fitting close to the chapter of this little rivalry they had going on. So, I did notice that even before they broke up, the friction was starting early in the match. Hell, he was even starting early when they was walking down the ramp.
Yep.
So you knew it was coming. I mean, Stevie Wonder saw this coming.
And
then, there was like, even though there was still a team friction going on, they still were doing a lot of heel tactics in this match. So even though they was basically, they made you believe that these guys truly didn't like each other no more, they was at each other's throats. But at the same time, they still, was doing their job up until Papa Lee, decided to, take his ball or take his roast beef and go home. But overall, like, definitely 3.5. I would say definitely 3 out of 5 headlocks for this match. I mean, it was solid. It did its job. This is a close to close to the chapter, and I think even though a lot of the stuff, us fans you already saw a lot of stuff coming, but we did disappoint. It did disappoint. Daddy Ass came out and did his thing, and but overall, like, as a fan, I feel like we gotta these men set out to accomplish the match. They accomplished their goal, and that's about it.
Oh yeah, the rest is history, man.
Yeah.
So now I'm just happy and hopefully, wishful thinking is that they keep pushing the Acclaimed in some good tag team matches, right? Some good tag teams to fight against them for defenses and everything. I hope they continue with it, and I think they will, but because that's the best part. If you get them in some good matches to then get those title defenses and keep putting on really good matches and shows and just a performance, that's all I want. I don't want them to just be champions and not be defending them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like do a tournament, do like a tag team title, like #1 contender tournament or something, and then because then you can have that on the next few matches, pay-per-views, or I'm sorry, Dynamite's Rampage, and set it up. So, but yeah, as for me for the score, I'd have to give that for sure a 3.5, 3.5 out of 5 on that. So. That's what I think. So Avery, what would you say, in your opinion, score for that match?
For my boys, the Acclaimed, I would. I agree with you. Probably 3.5.
Wait, hold on. Actually, right in the corner, right down here.
There we go.
Yep.
So give it a 3.
We're so mature.
And a half. 3.5.
I respect that.
Yep. I really like the fact too. He tried giving Keith Lee the clippers, or the pliers.
Yep.
I don't need this shit, man. And just walks. I don't need this, man. Walks out the ring. Do it yourself.
Yep.
For a second, I was like, "What if this guy wins him by himself?" You know what I mean?
That's what actually when you were offered for just a minute ago. That's what I said. I said then you would have a team that don't like each other as champions. All the ECW like Chris Candido, Lance Storm type thing.
Champion.
Yeah,
I'm the tag team champion.
Yeah, that was the best one. That was my favorite one.
That was good.
Kane and Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
Another one I used to like was Kurt Angle and the other guy referred to as Canada Man.
Oh
When they had their tag team. They clearly hated each other, but they was such wrestling gods in the ring. At one point, Kurt Angle, they go over their little pregame speech, and Canada Man looks at Angle and goes for the handshake, and Angle says, "Handshake? Are you serious with me right now? Tag team partners don't handshake. Tag team partners hug." He just gives Canada Man a hug. That's why he's a goat.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was a good match. It was a good match. And now with that there, we get to the main event. The match we've been waiting for a while. They've been building this up, obviously, with all the stuff that happened from Brawl Out. Stuff had to change, but it's still here. The devil gets his dues. MJF, after coming back, has been on fire, promo-wise, just setting us up for this match main event. Moxley, MJF, world title. Pretty much everyone kind of was in agreement that MJF was going to win the title. Just didn't know how, how exactly he was going to win. Some rumors kept kind of circulating, and, rumors can be like, the dirt sheets, because most of the time they're either not true or partially true. But this match, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good match, you can always tell that Moxley's like just wants a vacation, like after All Out, he was like, yes, vacation time. Next day, God damn it, I gotta go back. I can't take him.
Sorry, baby, you gotta go back to work. Be great.
I know. Renee's like, sorry. It's like, sorry.
Ray was like, Ray, Renee, she's such a gem. She was like, it's okay, honey. Just go out there and be great. Do what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
you do what you do.
And Moxie just walks out the door like, all right, baby, I'm going to fucking work, okay?
Yeah, anything he started bleeding. He started immediately bleeding.
As soon as he gets in the car.
Oh, gosh. But, no, it was a good match. They had some good spots there. That on the power bomb, to the power, I'm sorry.
Was it
power driver? Power driver through the table from the apron. Yeah, that was a pretty sweet spot right there. It was, and just a lot of some of the good chain wrestling with them, and then just the storytelling. Again, matches that are memorable have good storytelling with it, and that, it was the same thing, and everyone's kind of anticipating this. Then you see Regal coming out, because it's like, yeah, Regal's going to come here and help Moxley. Then the Brass Knucks come out, the classic Regal Brass Knucks. And then he threw them to MJF. And that crowd lost it, man. They lost it. They were so popped for it, because you could see his face, how well he sold it, And then we finally figured out who the devil was, right?
William Regal, baby.
Regal. And it's great, because Regal, and he's always been the best as a heel. Always, his WCW days,
one of the
WWE.
Greatest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and just seeing that finish, it was great seeing, MJF with the title. Then I don't know if you gentlemen saw the scrum.
The media
afterwards.
scrum, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it this morning.
Another time with TK just sitting there like a child, waiting for a school bus to pick him up or something. With his little sack lunch.
I stood on top of my bed and applauded after I watched it on my phone.
Right. Oh, it was great. It was fantastic. And, I'm just curious where they're going to go now in the world title picture. Like who is going to be thrown back into that
like a main feud with them. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do have Ethan Page coming up, right? Or no, Ricky Starks or Ethan Page.
Correct. Yes, because that match hasn't. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. I think on Dynamite tomorrow, that's when the match is, and then they fight at Winter is Coming.
Yes, so that will be his first defense, right there for the title. Yep. So, and guess what? He's retaining the belt. He's not losing the belt that quick. So
my question is, so he's got the belt now. Obviously, he'll most likely probably do a rematch with Mox. Retain. I'm thinking, rematch, retain. Like you say, the winner of the other match, he'll defend it. Winter's Coming. But then once that's all said and done, who's the company's top babyface that can that basically that he can get into a feud with?
Well, that's hard to say, because Hangman Page has been, ever since he got injured at that last show, he has been off the kind of radar, and also he's just cooled down to me. He really has. So I don't see that per se coming in there.
Maybe Kenny get another world title run.
Could you imagine there? Yeah. I could see. Maybe if he wants to, like we said, that he came off that really nasty injury he had. So you have him. You have that idea. Bryan Danielson. Obviously, I could see him being thrown into that feud, because you got to think. Look, so the Blackpool. What is it? I'm sorry. Combat Club. Blackpool Combat Club. Thank you. Like, they're part of that. So now he's going to try to defend him, right? Like Moxley, they're like, because apparently that's what happened after everything went off the air. The rest of them came out there and was like consoling Moxley. They were really selling it, right, for the crowd. But yeah, I could see Bryan Danielson doing that. I could see him kind of getting thrust into that spotlight because the fans are definitely behind him.
Of course.
And it makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, if I had to say anybody right off the bat, that's the one I could think of right now. So
it was just a thought. It was just a thought I had.
What's kind of cool, and I wish they would do this, but I know they're not. They won't do it. But I want them. Well, first off, MJF, should have a title reign for a while, right? And that's what I believe. But he should get a custom championship. Now the belt. So imagine this: the belt pair is the same.
Mm-hmm.
The strap is like his scarf.
Oh,
it's the pattern of his scarf. But the plate on the front, it's like the raised relief plate that says AEW would say MJF in like those letters.
Hey.
Like, tell me that wouldn't be.
That'd be pretty badass.
You giving me rated R superstar belt vibes.
Yep. I mean, how cool would that be? I feel like, hey, TK, go ahead. Come on, this is gold. This is gold, my friend. Come on. But yeah, it was very entertaining match. But as for a rating, just because of the storyline based around it and the fact that how he won it with the turning of William Regal and just MJF winning the belt and being the new face of the company. Well, continuing to be a face of the company. I'd say 4.5. I'd say with all that together, I'd say 4.5 headlocks and a Ric Flair chop.
Okay.
Nice. I'm somewhat right there with you. I'd give it a 4 headlocks with a chop as well. The ending was phenomenal, man. The William Regal turn, you know what I mean? Kind of makes me think what's the Combat Club gonna think and say to Regal tomorrow on Dynamite, or is he gonna start walking out with MJF? Or
that's a good point.
And just ready to freaking see what's gonna happen next, man.
Yeah, that's going to be a great promo. I can already tell.
Yep.
I can already tell.
Tomorrow's Dynamite is going to be so great because you got all these storylines beginning, coming to an end, and we're going to see how everything plays out tomorrow. This definitely going to be one of their most watched Dynamites in a long time.
Yeah,
sure.
Oh yeah.
The thing too I like about MJF winning the strap is he goes on a lot of podcasts. He does do some media coverage, some social media. So him walking around with that belt is, it's great publicity for the company.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree, most definitely.
Oh, and also just talking about publicity for the company. How about that on Monday Night Football yesterday? With Penta El Zero was at the Monday Night Football game, and it was crazy. We looked up and saw it when we were at the bar, and I saw the mask on, and I'm kind of like, oh, it's a fan. I'm like, no, that's
that was really him.
That was Penta, yeah.
So basically what happened was Penta was over on a little sideline area, I guess, where you could kind of interact when they let me interact with the players, and it was George Kittle over there. So he gave George Kittle a custom mask, with the Niners colors on it. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, that's sweet.
It looked sweet.
Yeah, if you get a chance to look it up, it's sweet. I kept looking, as I was burying my face at Detroit Grizzlies, and I kept looking like, wait a minute, hold on. I was tapping the doc over here. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only person that sees this, right?
He did the Leonardo DiCaprio, the
another guy.
Look.
But yeah, it was pretty cool though, as far as as far as that moment.
That is sweet.
But yeah, as far as my rating for this, I'm definitely saying 3.5 headlocks. So 3 headlocks and Ric Flair chop. I was satisfied. Basically, if I was there live, definitely go home a happy camper.
Could you imagine, dude, at the end when the Regal turn happened? Oh my God, just being there.
That's why we need more in Detroit. I've been ranting about this for a while. They've been in the Midwest so many times now. We've got shows in Ohio multiple times.
Chicago 25 times.
Yeah. Just to please Punk.
Wait, they go to Chicago? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you didn't know? Wow.
Gosh.
But since June, we're talking about 5 months later. Only one Detroit show. Are you serious?
Yeah. Very annoying. But so yeah, Full Gear ended up being a pretty solid show. You know, to me, there was just a couple here and there stinkers, or not complete stinkers, but just like underwhelming. But then a couple that were very, the Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, the fatal four-way match. The both tag team title match. Like everything was, they kind of rose everything up, but it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I was entertained. Yeah.
So let me ask you boys a question. So overall headlock rating, what do you give this pay-per-view?
Out of 10. So we want to do it out of like a 10. We'll do that.
I know we do out of 5. I think 5 is.
Okay. Okay.
The way we always been doing it.
Okay. So yeah, overall, if I had to say for the whole show, I'd say 3.5.
Okay,
comes with. If you had to do the whole show as one thing, yeah.
I think we all agree with that.
I agree with that. Yeah, 3.5 for sure.
Yeah. So
definitely, guys.
You got rid of a few duds. You're talking about a 4 out of 5 headlocks.
Yep.
Maybe if Saraya didn't freaking shit the bed so much, it would have been a 4 for me. But 3.5.
I'd say so. Yep. Yeah. That's a good point. So
it just wasn't. I wasn't entertained, man. I just couldn't sit there and keep my eyes on the TV. Just
it wasn't
down and just. I couldn't get attached to it.
Not only were you not entertained, but you also felt let down.
Yeah, man, of course I did. Because I used to like her in WWE. You know what I mean? And I wanted to see a good comeback story. And then, plus, just Britt Baker being in there. I love watching her perform. But yeah, I got let down, man.
Almost kind of makes you wonder if you can go back and rebook that match. Instead of having Britt Baker be the one to her face, maybe Serena Deeb would have been a better choice.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That would have been.
Yeah, because Serena, like the one thing about her, like she's very good in the ring, and and she would definitely go out of her way to make sure that Saraya wouldn't get hurt. She's that type of person in the ring. She's got that type of reputation where like, you're not gonna get hurt working with her.
Yeah,
understandable.
Absolutely. So I know you're watching NXT right now, right?
Yep.
So I just saw on the news the whole thing about the Scripps character that's been mysterious. So Avery, did you know about this? Right. So there,
about that.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, so I got an update about it, and I said, "Who the hell is Scripps? What is this? I'm so lost. What is this?"
So they were doing these promos for weeks, basically saying that Scripps, and they would have the name up here, and really mysterious, like not like the White Rabbit, like is extravagant, but still kind of mysterious.
Sure.
It literally turned out to be Reggie, like Reginald.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Like
with a mask.
Wow.
Like he just jumped out of like Halloween.
I forgot I even asked that.
He just came out of like Halloween USA store with an outfit on, and
I mean,
because I seen this mask, and then it looks like he had like orange and like black dreads or something like hanging from the top of it.
Yeah. But it's like, what? I guess I'm happy that because the 24/7 title is trashed now.
Literally,
to give him something to do. But it's like, okay, like, are you by yourself? Like when they say the Scripts, I'm like, I thought it was like a team, like. Insanity or Schism. It's like, but it's like just one guy. Like, what's up? What's going on? So,
yeah, they just wrapped up NXT, and let's say Carmelo Hayes versus Wes Lee. Pretty solid match. They went for about 15 minutes.
Was it for the title?
Yeah.
They deserve that too, for sure.
Yeah. So once they retained, and it was pretty solid. Nice. And then the one dude from Mustafa's out of the Retribution group, he just debuted it. He did like a choke slam to like
Donovan Dijak.
Yeah.
So
he went from a choke slam to
the torture rack,
and then he flipped off and hit my man in the face, and then
he's always been. I've always liked him. Yeah, he's always been a good big man, though. Good, the wrestling and everything. And then they're like, guess what? We're gonna be at Raw Underground, and then we got Retribution, and it's like the only thing that was good about Retribution is that they pushed Mustafa Ali as like the leader, and that was good. But the rest of it was just garbage, total garbage.
Oh yeah.
And what's funny or sad. The WWE 2K22 game, which is very good, not a sponsor, but it's pretty good game. They had Mia Yim and her character. I can't remember what her character, who she was in Retribution, and they had T-Bar, and Donovan Dijovic, whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Wait. Oh gosh, that's crazy. But speaking of the WWE and some of the people we were talking about, we got a lot more here. Well, a little bit more here, but especially wrestling this upcoming weekend. So Thanksgiving's upon us. A couple days we're all going to be filling our stomachs, filling our tummies, and then yes, we got the Lions facing off against.
We go get Millie rocked until we drop.
Yep, we're the Bills, baby. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Papa Mafia.
Papa Mafia's watching. Yeah, we go.
Good luck.
But it's crazy. I know this is. We're not gonna go too long on this. But the Lions beating the Bills this Thursday, will be the most Lions thing ever. There's always that one game every year of a team that have no business beating, and this could be that game. And then that's pretty much it.
No, I agree. For sure. I mean, it reminds me of that, like what 3 years ago, 4 years ago when we beat the Patriots.
With
Tom Brady,
and we like that game, baby.
You were?
Yeah.
I actually think our friend Nick was there too with a couple people from the bar, but yeah, they didn't even have a first down until like the fourth quarter or something, like the Patriots.
Something like that. Yep.
Well, he's watching this game going, who is this team?
Right.
Real quick. This like last year when they pretty much like stomped the Cardinals.
Yep.
It was like once again this game they literally had no business beating this team.
Cardinals were in first place that week too, and then we beat them.
Yep. Come on, so you're not. Hey, they can go 4 in a row, baby. Come on. Papa Mafia, come on. You gotta let us have some of this. So we'll see though. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll be there drinking as well. So it's gonna be a good time. But with that being said, boys, we ready to dive into some WWE?
Oh yeah, for sure. So obviously after Thanksgiving, we get some drinks, we have some food. Black Friday happens, whether we shop online or go in the store, which I like. Hey, I know there's online. I'll be doing that too. But sometimes I like to go in the stores. But now, but not but years past where it was a lot more hectic. But after all of that, Saturday is upon us. And Saturday is Survivor Series. So Survivor Series, obviously, in years past, have only been kind of like my least favorite of the big four, and actually least favorite of most of them. But this year, under Triple H, they decided to use the War Games, match type that they've been using very well in NXT for the past few years. So now you have the War Games for the women and for the men. So I think we'll start off with just the women's one for right now. And it pretty much was what we assumed was going to happen for the most part when we talked about this past couple weeks.
Yeah.
But so obviously for the women's side, you have Bianca Belair, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Mia Yim, and to be announced, to be determined. They said that 5th member will be announced on SmackDown. So with that being said, who do you guys think it's going to be?
Lacey Evans.
So that's a great choice right there. I've been reading people are saying anywhere from Lacey Evans to like Naomi coming back. Becky Lynch coming back. See, there's a lot of good choices
about her. Talking about she might be returning.
So we'll find. Cool. They said we'll find out on SmackDown. It's not going to be like a surprise at the pay-per-view.
Right.
So whoever that's going to be, and then
sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, it's okay. No, you can go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't Becky on Raw right now, or just she's probably back and forth?
Well, yeah, because I believe she was on Raw.
She was the Raw champion.
But you got to remember, this is not Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah, you're right.
You remember, it was not. It was just it's War Games, so it's like whoever's available for the matches. So, which I do love. That was another thing I was very happy they did. That it wasn't just like Raw versus SmackDown. There you go. No, but obviously they're facing Damage Control of Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Bayley, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. Which I'm happy that Rhea Ripley's in the match, and not just. I mean, I don't get me wrong. She's the best part of Judgment Day, but she hasn't really had any matches because it's like I can't. What's going on, And it's going to be nice to see her now with some matches going on now.
Yeah.
So,
I hear you.
And, and what's funny is actually over the past few days, ever since Mia Yim, debuted as the female member for like the club or helping AJ and stuff. So I know you guys read this, but this is kind of funny. So as of like an hour before we went on, everyone was losing their mind because apparently when Mia Yim came back, she told him, Triple H, that she wanted to go under the name Minchin. I don't know if you guys read this.
Yeah.
It was like Minchin. Yes. So she came back and she said, so they put her name on like the website as Minchin. And apparently in Korean, that means crazy. And everyone was losing their mind on all these message boards. I mean, that's terrible. I can't believe they're doing that to her. And then literally people were like, she wanted it. She wanted that name. Like she was the one that said it. But as of literally an hour before we went on, the WWE website has now changed it back to Mia Yim. So, fan backlash for it. Which, I mean, look at this. Like, she's in TNA, she went by Jade. Mm-hmm. And then she went on by Mia Yim, like her name, So, if it's her idea for Minchin, that's fine. It just doesn't roll off the tongue,
Minchin, yeah.
Like,
it's kind of weird to say it, too.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I thought of. Like, it doesn't really work. Like when you have someone like Kari Sane going by just Kari or Asuka, that's cool. Right. Like that works. But like Minchin, it's like who? Minchin. I don't know. Right. So I'm just happy that they have now reverted back to her name, her Mia Yim name. That's so. But as for like who would actually win this match, it really depends on that to be determined person.
The fifth member.
Yeah. Yeah. It really, to me, that's what it really matters. And, now that we've said a bunch of people here, I was going to go with like a returning Naomi, but I do like the Becky Lynch one because, she should be back from injury. Yeah, she should be, but it really depends because she has a kid now. Maybe she takes some more time off if they don't really need her right away. But I don't know. What do you guys think, Avery? What do you think?
Well, I still believe it's Lacey Evans. That's just because she's got like this heel persona now. When she came back from having her kid, like the American soldier or whatever the thing was, and couldn't get over. She said, "All right, well, screw it. I'm just gonna be a freaking bad guy now." And they're all freaking heels over there too. Might as well team them up together. Or like you said, Naomi would make sense because it's the Usos' wife. They're bad guys. Maybe she does that too. But I don't know. I guess only time will tell. We'll see on Friday.
Yep. So we will see. We will see.
Well, yeah. Because I mean, the person that the person that we still got to find out, they're basically going to be on the babyface team. So
exactly. So
they already tried the babyface thing with Lacey Evans with this new gimmick she got, and it bombed hard. So
it bombed so hard because she's just naturally good at being a heel, and hopefully they get their head out of their ass about that and give her back her old gimmick. So, but I don't know. I'm curious, and actually, correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't watched the War Games match in a little bit. I know that they start off like 1-on-1.
Yep.
And then 5 minutes later, whoever's got the advantage, which
Correct.
I believe is the Rhea Ripley's team, got the advantage on Monday Night Raw. So then that team, someone will come in.
Yep.
2 minutes later, the opposite person, and then they alternate until everyone's in.
On forth and so
but
forth,
then.
So forth,
It's the first pinfall or submission to win. It's not an elimination.
So the match
it's not an elimination.
Start until everyone's into the rings. That's when they ring the bell. Once everybody's finally in it, then the War Games have begun.
Yeah. So and I just whenever because we're so used to elimination matches. Survivor Series elimination type matches. So again, when you have it's a double ring, but it's a lot of moving parts in the match, especially like that. So. As for who's going to win, to me, it probably has to be the like Bianca's team because of whoever that person is.
Yeah. So
now I know I said Naomi because I'm just kind of the outside chance, but if Becky Lynch is healthy, that really is a good idea. So so that's in my opinion, that's probably the best. That's the best, especially how they're kind of setting us up. You'll find out Friday who it is.
Yeah, you're right.
They're like really setting that up for you to watch. You know, hey, watch it's gonna be Emma, guys. Don't worry, it's gonna be Emma. She's back.
I like Emma. I'm always a fan of her. She's always been good.
Yeah, I know. Look,
I mean, she's good outside of WWE.
I just wish she didn't. Yeah, she gets fed immediately to Ronda Rousey. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all good, but that's what I think. I just think that it's going to be Bianca's team winning because of that, whoever the unannounced person is. But it'll be interesting to see these guys in a War Games match, because some of them have been in it. Like Io Sky's been in the match before already, so she's familiar with that type of match. I believe Bayley was in the match as well. I don't have the list right in front of me, but I believe Bianca Belair was too. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure it'll be entertaining. Oh,
most definitely will be.
Yeah,
most definitely will be.
Yeah, but unless you guys have anything else about that, I was just going to move on to the next match. So whatever you guys think.
I'm all set, but I'm actually about to head out of here though, boys.
Oh, not a problem, Avery. And you know what? Hey, guess what?
Of course, man.
Thanks as always joining us, man.
Hey,
and we'll definitely catch you next time. And
sure will.
You just have a good night, man.
I will appreciate it, buddy.
Just have a good night. Remember, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us, talk some wrestling.
Yep.
That's right. That's the plan.
Hey.
All righty, boys.
Hey.
Oh, real quick before you go,
Yep.
just to let people know that he's getting ready. He's working on his Twitch stream. So, we get definitely together. We all make sure to show him some love. Y'all show him some love as well. So,
most definitely.
Yep. Absolutely.
Once I get off here, we'll put the channel in the chat.
Well, I feel like I'll show him some love because that's what I give. Dr. Love,
baby. Thank you, boys.
Let's say, and I'll say congratulations on your interim championship.
Yeah. So yeah.
I see it right there.
Sunday. As I said, I am still the current reigning, defending Tomato Fountain champion.
This is called collusion. Collusion.
Avery here is my co-champion, as we did Time Points.
If this is AEW, this would be y'all be interim champions. I'm just
no, I'm still champion because I won and I retained the title, so he can be interim champion. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Hey, on Saturday, my friend, we'll see both of you.
All right, guys. Catch y'all later.
See you, man.
Sure.
But so moving on with that match, we have a very odd match that I saw booked, and I'm still kind of questioning it a little bit, where they have Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi Blackheart, and I like Shotzi. Don't get me wrong, I've liked her. I just don't really understand where they're going for this. Like, this seems like a match that would have just been on SmackDown or something. Like,
right.
Obviously, you're just going to be setting her up to just get beat by Rousey, but they're doing these storylines now with Shayna Baszler working with Rousey, and I had mentioned that before we were talking. I said they would be awesome for the women's tag team champions. They just go around beating everybody up.
Yep.
Like really legitimizing the belts more. So that I'm still a little confused about it. Obviously, something's going to happen. Maybe someone's going to interfere. Like, here's actually a good point. Think about this. She goes into this match with Shotzi. She beats Shotzi pretty quickly. Then Becky Lynch comes out.
Oh.
Right, yep. And then, what's going on? Yeah. It's just the only thing that makes sense is that something big is going to happen in the match. Someone's going to come out. Someone's going to interfere. It's going to be a short match for that. And it's the only thing I can think of. But if nothing else happened in that match, I would be a little pissed off, because you kind of wasted that on someone who knows not going to win the title, not even close, like in that title picture. So right. I don't know. I really don't. But
I think what's going to happen, I feel like it's going to be a squash match. I mean, Shotzi, she's a fun character, but then again, weirder booking has happened where you had Liv Morgan go over clean on another Ronda Rousey, which was what's the name?
Shayna Baszler.
Which is Baszler. So, weirder booking has happened, as far as with WWE. But
yeah.
on paper, this should be like maybe a 2-minute match, 2-minute squash match, if that. But who knows? They might turn this into like an 8-minute match, whatever, where Shotzi's just trying to survive.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, so pretty much that's pretty much all I got for that. Because there's not much else to talk about without but yeah, I'm gonna book it now and say Becky Lynch not coming back in the other match, the War Games match. She's gonna come out after that match. It makes sense for her coming back and trying to go after the title, and it works because Ronda's a heel. Her, yeah. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with that.
Quick question. Because I don't think we said who our winners was going to be for the other match. So
oh, you're right. I mentioned that in the War Games match for the women. I just said that they're going to win, and it's going to be whoever the to be determined person. It's going to be like them winning the match or Bianca. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like them. Yeah.
Okay, me personally, for my pick, I got Team Damage Control winning.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because Bailey, she keeps coming up short against Bianca, and then this would be a good win, especially if she's the last survivor. On her team, this would be definitely, this would definitely keep her momentum hot. So,
yep.
And then as far as the SmackDown Women's title match, just feed it to Rousey and just move on.
Yep. Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So moving on, it's definitely my most anticipated match. The one I've been waiting for since they started teasing it.
Yeah.
Is AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. And, here's the thing. So this match, it's been years in the making, years waiting for this to happen. And we're finally going to get it. And I just want, here's the problem. You have the Judgment Day, you have the club, they're going to be there. I want them gone. If they're going to be there, I want them to fight outside, do whatever. Then I want the ref to be like, nope, you're out of here. I want to see them just get this out of here. You know what I'm saying? Rhea Ripley tries to do something, but then Mia Yim comes in and, I got you. If they are out there at all. But that's the only thing. I don't want any shenanigans to cost the match from the win. I just want it to be a good, hard-hitting match. And, I like both of them. And if I had to sit here and say a winner, I'm going to go with AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles will go over on him, but they're going to give them probably at 25 minutes for that match. Maybe like 22 minutes, maybe 20 or something. But
I think 22 is I think 22 is a sweet spot.
Yeah, I think they're going to give them that time for this match.
But for me, I definitely got Balor going over for some reason. I don't know why, but I just see Balor just going over. Not Styles. Styles at this point, he's just putting people over, putting teams over. So I just see this as I see this as Balor going over. But who the real winner is going to be is the fans, because these two are definitely going to put on the wrestling clinic. And it's funny you mentioned 22 minutes, because I think out of the 22 minutes, you're probably going to get about 3 to 4 minutes of just shenanigans going on about the teams itself.
Yeah.
And then eventually, once they're gone, then that's when the match is really going to pick up, and then that's when we all buckle our seatbelts and get ready for maybe a potential match of the year. Yep,
it could be. It really could be, and I'm crossing my fingers for that. So can't wait. Now, moving on for the matches there, another potentially very, very good match, show stealer, was just announced yesterday on Raw, and it's Seth Rollins versus Lashley versus Austin Theory for the United States title. Now, with Austin Theory's new rejuvenated character, where he comes out, loses, but then he beats up Seth Rollins. He is now unchained from this unclean Money in the Bank. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I know everyone hated it. Everyone like, oh, that's so bad booking. It's for the U.S. title. Like, no, they had to figure out a way to have him lose it and then just get rid of it. Like, we're done with it now.
Yeah.
And now we can actually book him properly, which is what they're doing now. And I'm happy to see that. Like, for example, in this match, you're going to see some good hard hitting, fighting in this. I can see Austin Theory winning this belt back. I honestly can.
I think this can be a good look for him. As far as him, winning the championships. Me personally, my money is on Rollins right now.
Such a good worker,
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, maybe they just use Rollins as a placeholder for the belt to, to get it off of Bobby and maybe get it on to Theory.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad at Theory, winning, but my money's on Rollins right now. But like you said, well, and also like we've been saying for the last, since probably this podcast started, that eventually, now that Papa H has took it over, that we was basically going to see Austin go from being people booing him because of the politics backstage when the man force feeding him down our throats.
Yep.
Now people boo him just because he's because
he's a good heel character.
Yeah, he's a good heel.
He gets
character.
the good boos. He gets good boos. So.
There you go. Good. He gets the good boos. So now people, he come to the ring, people not boo him, because he comes down there and be obnoxious and everybody want to see him get what's coming to him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. So you're saying Rollins retains? I'm going to say Theory actually wins this match, wins the belt.
So does Brock come? Do we see Brock this weekend? Have something?
Because I know we talked about that, right? We talked about the idea that they're going to definitely have a rematch based off of how Lashley, that match ended. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come out because, I don't know. I don't think so. But if he came out, for example, I'd be very surprised. I would be really, really surprised if he did come out in that match. But there's an outside chance he could do it just because to further the storyline for them, the long-term storytelling for that. So, but I still think, Theory's going to win the match. Again, it's, he doesn't have to pin Rollins. Rollins doesn't have to lose. Technically, so if he beat Lashley, for example, like I can just see it where Seth Rollins does like a curb stomp to Lashley, but then something happens, he hits him and then pins Lashley.
Okay.
So you like he won't like a non-finisher, like he didn't use his finisher, so then it's like scoops up the win. Who knows?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah. That's going to be a good match too. We're gonna like right now. We got some good matches, except for like the Ronda and Shotzi, which obviously we already talked about. That's going to be yeah. You know what? It's going to last 3 minutes. So oh gosh, they're both dead. Oh, rest in peace, man.
Hey,
you can't get 3 minute warning.
Rest in peace.
Oh my gosh. Also, the best part though, when Bischoff would just be like, "Yeah, I think it's 3 minutes are up," and then randomly out of nowhere they'd come.
Just come out and be like, you guys got about 3 minutes to wrap this up.
You know what? I should have played that at the wedding, right at the end when we only got 3 minutes till we're out of here. That could have been the last song of the night. I mean, Rollout was great though. Rollout was great, getting that. But oh my god, you know what? I'll think about doing that for a party here. Like, say if it's getting late and I'm like wanting to go to bed, you'll just hear 3 minutes. And I hear like, I guess we're wrapping this up, guys. Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
But obviously now we have the main event, which it's interesting right now. There's only four matches, 5 matches.
So yes, 1, 2,
5,
3, 4, 5 right now.
And it's interesting they don't have the Intercontinental title being defended unless something gets announced on SmackDown. I'm just a little surprised that wasn't on this card.
Well, I guess they figured they go wait till after this pay-per-view to figure out where Gunther goes, because I mean they pretty much finished. Granted, I mean he defended it like a week or 2 ago, against Rey Mysterio. You know, as a
he did.
main event for SmackDown. So I guess now that the Brawling Brutes and them, they're done and whatnot. So at this pay-per-view, we'll probably see what happens from there. But the one good thing though is we do have at least one mid-card belt on this pay-per-view getting defended. So
that is good. Yeah, right. Something's getting defended there.
Yeah.
So then we move on to the main event, which is obviously the men's War Games match, where you have Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes and Sheamus, of course. Sheamus and Ridge Holland and Butch. Kevin Owens, which I was very happy to see he was added to that. The pop he got to was so hot for that when he was announced. And I was like, of course, I always have to. It's my boy. And a Drew McIntyre, versus Bloodline. And, again, big men banging sweaty meats.
All the sweaty meats. We're getting all the sweaty meats for this match.
So many,
This is gonna be like an hour match.
Now, what's interesting about how everyone comes in after the other, like Roman Reigns is the last one coming in. He's not.
You already know.
Yeah, he's not going to be. He's going to be the last guy to come in from all of them, right? Yeah. And that's how they're going to set it up. And I don't know who it's going to be for. Excuse me, for the the Brawling Brutes team, but definitely everyone else is going to go in. Like I can just see Sami Zayn going in first. Like, let's go! I got you guys. And it's like,
no, I think
calm down.
So how? As far as Sammy and Kevin Owens, because obviously they're gonna do something with them.
Yeah.
Well, basically, whichever one goes in first, the second one's coming in next.
Yep.
So it depends on how they do the order.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me personally, with the War Games, who I would start off with from each side. I would start main event J, as I call them. I'll start main event J versus Butch.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because them two alone can get the. Because them two alone can get the crowd right back hot. So
yep, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's going to be a good match. In the fact that they're going to work with the double ring, the side by side ring, and like most of these guys haven't really done that. Kevin Owens did. I'm not sure if anybody else. I think maybe Sami Zayn might have. Again, I don't have my list right in front of me. I know Kevin Owens did when he went back down to NXT to show up as a surprise on Ciampa's team a few years ago. But yeah, it's going to be a hard-hitting match. It's going to be some good spots here and there. You're going to see some cannonballs by Kevin Owens. You're going to see Stunner. You're going to see Superman Punch. You're going to see a lot of stuff. Your finishers all galore, pretty much,
Yep.
Claymore out of nowhere, and
we're going to get a few Claymores. Come on.
Yeah. So,
and I think I'm pretty sure we both in the same. I'm pretty sure we both got the same answer. Who we think is going to win this?
Because the belt's not on the line. With Roman Reigns, I know the bloodline makes sense. The bloodline makes the most sense. I know. However, because the title's not on the line, them losing wouldn't really hurt them. If anything, it would make all the guys on Sheamus's team elevate them even more, And I guess what I'm saying is too, like whoever gets pinned for them, right? That's the big deal. Like if someone I don't know. I just feel like it makes more sense to book Sheamus and their team winning because of the Universal World title is not on the line. So. But it does make the most sense if Bloodline won. So I'm a little torn on it. I'm going to go the outside chance and say Sheamus and their team's going to win.
Don't be surprised if it comes down to Sami Zayn pinning Kevin Owens.
I know, right? Oh, trust me. That's what in my head, that's what I was, hoping
I heard it here first. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm usually right once every 15 times. So
it'll be very interesting during our my defense of the championship what I'm going to be picking for this. And so I'm just saying that's going to be very hard. It's going to be hard for me to go with my gut or with realistic,
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, so that's it for Survivor Series, unless, like I said, they announce something else on SmackDown. Because you got to think both War Games matches are going to be what 40 minutes long, probably at least 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think the women's is probably going to be about 35. The men's is going to be an hour.
Yeah, so and then of course, like I mentioned, AJ is going to get at least 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah,
you know.
That then you at about an hour and 50 minutes, and then you probably get about 15 minutes for the United States title. Yep. So now we had about 2 hours and 5 minutes, and then the women's match that might be a squash. So now we had 2 hours and 10 minutes. Then they got to throw in some type of promo or whatnot. Yeah. Oh, what's today? We forgot. The match that's not on here that we forgot about. What's the name? Bray versus what's the name?
Was that officially announced yet?
I thought that was I could be wrong.
No, you're right. We were talking about. We were talking about that, and I believe you are right. I think they are setting that up. I didn't think it was officially announced, but that made sense. You're right, because that's going to be another squash, right? But it's still the time it's going to take for the promo of them coming out and stuff. But yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that because we were just talking about it. But yeah, that's gonna happen in some way or another. Whether it's an actual match or LA Knight coming out and jaw jacking, and then he comes out and like beats him, whether it's a real match or not, that's still going to take up that time.
Because I'm looking at multiple sites right now. I could have swore because obviously they did their little thing on SmackDown.
Yep.
But I thought for some reason they was having that match because me and a couple of my coworkers were talking about it. So there's a couple of them that love Bray Wyatt. And it's not on the card, but I could have swore they were supposed to do something at Survivor Series. I'm about to, because I remember seeing it on Instagram.
Oh. Let's see. Yeah. I think it's going to be added to the card, but like I said, it's either going to be added to the card or he's just going to come out and mouth off to him, like Bray Wyatt comes out or he does, and and then you just get like 10 minutes of all that kind of stuff, and then he beats him up.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that makes sense to me. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay. I could have sworn, I don't know. But yeah, so definitely So let's say now you have 2 hours and 10 minutes. Like I said, you probably get a Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt moment. That's gonna be about 10 minutes in itself. So now you are at 2 hours and 20 minutes, give or take, as far as just for that, basically what's in front of us as far as on the card and the Bray Wyatt thing. So from there on, they might throw one more match on there and whatnot. Or the women's could go 40 minutes. Maybe the women's might go about the women's could go about 45 minutes. So that adds on extra 10. So now you're looking at about 2.5 hours.
Well, also let me expand on that. What I said earlier about the thing with Shotzi losing and then someone coming out.
Yeah.
What if Shotzi gets injured, right? Because they've already kind of talked about this, where they've already these storylines of like Ronda and Shayna injuring people, like Raquel, Rodriguez. They beat her up and stuff. What if she gets beat up? Ronda comes out. Oh, I guess they don't got anybody to face because even though it was them that beat her up, and then nobody's here to face me, and then you hear boom, Becky Lynch's music hit, and then comes out. Whether or not that actually turns into an actual match or not, that could work.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But it's still gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be better than most years Survivor Series, so that's all. That's a plus.
Right.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to see it, and and then maybe, just maybe, Sauce, that you can try to win the most coveted championship here.
I'm letting you know right now. If it comes out of co-champions, I'm running out of the house with that belt. I'm just like, you go look up, and I'm just gonna be gone.
Oh man, that's funny.
But me personally, I enjoy Survivor Series because for me, it's that one time a year you definitely get to see guys on the mid card get their little time to shine. I know I've said this over and over and over, but to me, that Survivor Series is because that end. Because pretty much most of the matches you're gonna get is gonna be purely about wrestling. You're just gonna see wrestling. Yeah. So that's really the two main big reasons why I love me some Survivor Series.
Yep. I got you, man. I got you. Well, like I said, this was a big rest of the month for wrestling. And there's a lot of stuff that's happened over the past couple of weeks, including this last week.
Yeah.
So with that being said, who do you have for your Heat of the Week?
Oh, that's easy. Kari, the first New Japan Women's champion.
Yep. Yeah, it was very cool to see that. With Kari Sane, winning that. It was a perfect choice. Yeah. And then she's defending that title also at Wrestle Kingdom, in her first title defense. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool, and she definitely deserved it. And shout out to her for sure. It was really cool seeing that.
Yeah.
Her, I know I liked her when she was here and all that stuff, but I knew it wasn't going to work though. I just knew it, and now I'm just glad that she got another chance somewhere else, and boom, first ever, women's champion in New Japan. So very, very cool, very cool. Now, as for me, again, I'm just kind of going back and forth on most things, but I have to give it to MJF, the new AEW World Champion. Time and time again.
Yeah, an actual AEW talent.
Correct. It's not someone. It's not like Jericho or Omega from New Japan and Ring of Honor. And then the Elite. I gotcha. But not. And then Hangman Page. But he started New Japan. He was with the Bullet Club and then Ring of Honor and all that kind of stuff. It's like then Moxley, WWE guy. It's like I still like to see him Punk. But no, MJF, right?
Yep.
I just when it comes down to his promos, to his persona, his stage presence, everything is just off the chart. It really is. It's exactly in a sense how a professional wrestler needs to be. He needs to have the total package of that, and he does. He does. So, and hats off to him, and hopefully, hopefully we see more of that. So. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But hey, we have a big week. It's going to continue this going into this weekend. So, then we get a little break for just a little bit, but we keep on moving forward because wrestling never stops, baby. But, I mean, that was a lot to go over, but if there's anything else, I didn't know if you had anything else, Sauce, that was on your mind.
Not really. I'm definitely looking forward to Survivor Series. Love me some Survivor Series. Go Lions, go Blue. It's weird too because you have Survivor Series and the Michigan Ohio State game after Thanksgiving. And normally it used to always be before. So
yeah, it was just kind of how the days kind of landed this time. It was like, you know what? Here we go. Let's go.
Get Michigan. The biggest game of the year and Survivor Series on the same day. Hot damn.
I know all I cared about too is the fact that Michigan Ohio State game's at noon, so we don't have to force watching which one or the other. Which at that point I would just I've been like our friend Scouting's got doing it the party. I would have been like, you have a second TV, or I'm bringing my smaller TV.
Yeah.
There's no way we're not not watching that too. So, but yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good weekend. So. But if there's nothing else, I think it's a good show, and always thank everyone for watching, commenting. It's always great. Avery, as I said, great having him on the show. And
shout out to the Don River Tall Boys.
Yep, the Tall Boys right there. But as always, I'm Dr. Love, Sauce Bronson.
That'd be me.
Yeah, I'm like, am I pointing the right way? One of these days I'll be able to get this right, But yeah, and hey, we'll catch you next week. Another fun-filled episode of just two guys from Michigan talking about wrestling.
Yep. Hey, listen, guys. Tomorrow is the biggest bar night of the year, so if y'all get a little too lost in the sauce, call a damn Uber, okay?
Yeah, don't try driving, please.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, just call an Uber.
Yep.
And then also too, hey, happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all eat well. Hope y'all have a good, holiday. And then as far as Black Friday, me personally, I say you online shop versus going in and dealing with people, but that's just me. And other than that, y'all be safe and be good.